So Craig, tell us a bit about yourself.
Okay, so my name's Craig Sullivan. I am the Managing Director of a company called Student House Gillingham. We are a HMO manager that specialise solely in student lets. We're based in Kent in Medway, and I opened that in 2013. I had my first HMO back in 2008, and it's kind of just snowballed and snowballed and snowballed into what it is now, which is like a big part of the community.
Monster.
A bit of a monster, yeah, in the HMO game. So that we've now got 90 HMOs,
That's
330 tenants.
Wow.
Wow.
And so yeah, it keeps me busy.
I didn't know it was that big.
No, I didn't know it was that big, and that is huge.
Well, Medway itself is actually quite small, so in terms of saturation, like we basically
You
taken
literally
over
manage the whole
Medway,
of Medway, yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So it's gone really well then since
Yeah.
then. To say from 2008 all the way up to now,
Yes.
that's mega growth,
It's
right?
been gradual, so obviously I had a job back when I got my first one,
Okay.
and then I slowly built that up, and then gradually left the full-time role, focused on the HMO side, and now I've just grown it into what it is today.
Wow.
So if we were to go back pre-job, around, why property? Why did you decide to go into it?
So for me it just worked. So I grew up with property. So my dad, he's one of those guys who was very typical, like he'd buy a house, renovate it, let us all move in as a family, then sell it, then buy another one, renovate it. So he kind of stepped up the ladder. And so I saw that, and I saw the way he was accumulating wealth, and obviously I talked to him, and he'd have friends as well that would do that. So for me it was just a natural fit, and as well as I used to work with my dad, so I picked up little tricks of the trade, so basics in plumbing, decorating.
Yeah, you got on the tools, don't you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I wasn't afraid of a bit of hard graft. So yeah, it was just a natural fit. And when I experimented on the first one, like my first HMO, it was like, oh my god, this is working. This is generating good money. If I scale up, then this can really change my life.
Yeah. Okay.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but with your Instagram, I think when you first started it, was you trying to get to 10 houses?
That's right. Yeah.
Because you've still got the picture of you with your board with a 10 on as your profile image.
Right. Yeah.
So tell everybody that's watching the video about that and how you did it.
So basically, I always had a goal that I would reach 10 houses by the time I was 30.
Okay. How old are you now?
I'm 32 now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, 32 now. And so when I reached 30, I actually had 11 houses. So so going back to the start, it was just like, right, 10 houses, because for some
makes
reason,
sense. Yeah, it makes sense.
For some reason it was just 10. That
Nice round number to aim for, yeah.
Something will happen when I get to 10. I don't know what, but 10 houses seems like a good number to get to. So anyway, so that was it. That was how I got to it, and slowly I started off with the one back in 2008, which I bought at auction with my dad, and then I bought another one at auction, which was then documented by Homes Under the Hammer.
Oh, whoa.
He's famous.
I've missed that.
Not just Insta famous, he is famous.
Oh, you've been on
BBC
Homes?
famous.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
The maddest thing, right? Listen to this.
I need to rush home and we'll watch it on this iPad.
Yeah, it's brilliant, because that's kind of my very first one that I bought.
Okay.
So you got me, I was only 22, 23 at the time.
Oh my god, definitely need to see that. Yeah.
So that was cool. But that's where it all started, and then from that it aired on BBC, and mad things happened. So basically, someone reached out to me. I don't know how he got my details, because I didn't have a business at this point.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Hi Craig, hope you don't mind me contacting you, but I've seen your BBC series. I would love to come to Gillingham. I'm from Hungary, and I'm looking to invest in property.
No way.
And it would be great to
You never know.
meet up with you."
Homes Under the Hammer could be on like Top Gear, in Hungary, just all day, every day.
This is it. I was like, and he's an investor today with me. He's
amazing.
one of
That
my
is
main
amazing, and that was
investors.
10 years ago.
And that was 2000. No, it was in 2011.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
But that's mad. So and this is what I love about social media, right? And this is why I'm always putting stuff on social media, talking to the cameras and stuff, because you just never know where it'll lead.
Yeah.
Or
So-
who's watching.
You're quite famous. Craig's quite famous for singing.
Stop it.
And I think we might have some clips that we can go to.
Oh God.
So, if we were to look at social media, a subject I love, yours is very unique, the way that you approach it.
Yeah.
And the way that you're very honest on there. There's no bullshit with
Smoke and mirrors,
yeah,
none
no
of that.
smoke and mirrors. And I think that's why I enjoy your content so much, because I can connect to that and see this guy's been like this for the past 2 years.
Yeah.
Like, why do you take that direction? What was your choice to kind of be so open and honest on socials?
Yeah, so I started my Instagram account just to document my journey, and I thought people would like that.
How
and
long
then
ago was it?
The first post, I think, was 2010. Yeah, 2012.
Okay.
Right, okay.
12 or 13.
But that's not property posts though, or was it?
That was, yeah.
Was you putting as much effort in there?
So basically, the reason why I said property apprentice as a name
Yeah.
is because I was learning, and I thought I'd always be learning, so that would always be
It's
a
good
good
name.
relevant
It's an ace
name.
name, property
So,
apprentice, yeah.
so that's why I did that, and then slowly, I started getting more confident, and I thought, you know what, people would find this useful, and then I would get comments going, oh, I really love your content, and you inspire me, and I love that. I love inspiring people, and when people tell me, I live for that stuff. I thrive for it because it's such, what's the word? A nice thing to do, where someone takes the time out of the day to then message you saying that I really like this.
100%.
It's the best thing.
100%.
So
it's a bit overwhelming sometimes though, isn't it? Like when you get a lot of support and love back like that, and you're just being you at the end of the day.
Right,
but
exactly,
people find huge value from you doing it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's great.
So yeah, to your point, I love that. I love just being that raw footage, because there's none of this like highly produced stuff. It's just literally me on my phone having a chat, telling you the situation.
Oh, it's great.
That's it.
Some of them are comedy gold though as well.
Oh.
Aren't they? Like just to highlight a few. Just to highlight a few.
Cool.
You found like a bag of weed in one, right?
Yeah, big bag of weed.
I remember the bag of weed.
And a sword.
Oh, the sword!
Which he kept, madly, he kept both of them. I don't know how he got away with it, but he kept both. And then also, what about there was a fire in one of the, in like a shed with a dryer or something, wasn't there? An actual fire.
A tumble dryer set on fire.
Bloody hell.
And the tenants phoned the fire brigade. They didn't turn up for like 1 minute, 2 minutes. Then they phoned me. I zoomed round there.
Wow.
And
firefighter as well, as a property
2 for the
extraordinaire.
price of one with me.
So it's all right.
Was there any other ones like that just stands out?
There was the dildo one. Are we allowed to say that?
Yeah, we can say that.
Oh,
That's
do I
hilarious.
remember that one?
I didn't see that.
You probably did. So I was with a surveyor. It was for a remortgage for
Rings
one of
a
my
bell, you
landlords.
know.
And
He's gone. He's gone.
That's killing me off.
He's quite an old guy. I knew him from other valuations. And anyway, we walked into all the rooms. It was all fine. And we saved the last one, which is the master bedroom. And we walked in there together. And then I kicked something. I looked down, and there was just this thing. The dildo. And he looked at me, I looked at him, and we just burst out laughing.
Bet you got the valuation.
He did actually, yeah. The landlord was like, oh, great, we got the valuation. It was like, yeah. But yeah, with student lets, it's so funny. Some of the people you meet, they're brilliant, don't get me wrong, they're really good to work with, but some of the stories are fantastic. Yeah.
So with your social media, in terms of like opportunity of investment and stuff, has that been a constant thing for you?
Yeah, so recently...
Because you're quite open to put, like, you've got deals and stuff out on socials,
That's right. So recently I've looked for the JV route, because I did the deal sourcing, and personally I think that I'm selling these deals for quite cheap, because if I'm providing someone like...
Are you end-to-end servicing as well? So you're doing the work,
like
you're finding
turnkey.
turnkey, you're doing the work, you're letting it, you're looking after it.
Exactly, everything.
I mean, it's the dream.
The whole deal, yeah. So I did a deal sourcing before that. I basically provided an investment for an investor who I made it, in my opinion, the best 4-bed HMO in the market. It's got all en suite. It looks lovely. It's called Strover Street. It's on the gram. Check it out. And I sold that to him for $5,000. And I thought, I've just given you a
cash machine.
Machine that's going to generate 20 to 25 grand a year, go up in value, and I sold it to you for $5,000. I thought there's got to be another way I can get more out of it, because I'm putting my heart and soul into it, I'm putting my agency onto it. So I thought the sources side for things, the student net game is very precious, because it's a very small area. The properties, there's only certain properties that will cater for the student market in that area, so it's precious. So I thought, right, let's do JVs. So I've literally, again, got the phone out. I thought, let's try it. Let's speak to people, and lo and behold, people got in touch, and now I've got like 3 JVs.
Wow.
And this was like since November last year.
So you say you've got JV structure. What do they look like for each one? Is it like a 50-50?
Exactly. So
they bankroll, you do everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly that. So I'll source it, renovate it, fill it, manage it.
Yeah.
All you do is fund it, and then you get paid back first. I don't take a penny out of the deal until you're paid back. As soon as you're paid back, then we're 50-50.
Oh, so you're not taking anything from the rent roll until they're paid back? Wow, so that's a good deal for them.
I don't see any return until maybe 3 years down the line. But I'm happy with that because I'm in it for the long game.
Yeah, great.
That's a great deal for you. Instead of that 5, you now got a piece of something instead, right?
That's it. I'd rather that than give it $5,000 and then.
No brainer, massive no brainer.
And great for the JV as well, because the JV's getting all of their money back apart from what's left in the deal, and a great product.
Yeah. It's as secure as it possibly
can be. It's secure, definitely.
There's a few people I've spoken to that have got property sourced for them, and then they pay the sourcing fee, and then they're just left with the agent who, okay, that's it. Whereas I'm sourcing it, I've got my name to it, I'm carrying it.
It's within your vested interest for it to be a nice house, for it to be managed properly, everything like that. So it just makes complete sense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, we've just kind of come full circle back to where you are, because before we've worked on, when I say we, I mean myself and my husband Tim with his building stuff, we were working on a lot of projects for people, earning good money, but then passing them over to people who were then absolutely creaming it in on the rent. And we're like, well, if we're doing it for other people, we should do it for ourselves. So we also had an external letting agent on our own portfolio. So we've given notice to them, and I've brought my first full-time member of staff on board to do lettings and operations, which I know I spoke to you about last year. I was thinking about doing it. So that's because and that's not to do projects for anyone else, that's just for my joint venture partners, for the stuff that I own. You know, we're sourcing it, building it, designing it, and now we're letting it. And because a lot of it's serviced accommodation, it's obviously driven by systems and operation.
Exactly.
For me to know that investment's being really well looked after, I've got to be in it and all over it. You know, or my guy in charge of the systems has got to be. So we've bought everything in-house now, so it's protected because, like you, I'm passionate about what I do, and I want it to deliver the best. And not anywhere along the process do I want there to be an area where I can lose control and performance might dip.
That's what it comes down to. Because like you say, it's about the experience.
Yeah.
From start to finish, from the moment they walk into a house to the service to the moment they exit, I'm across all of that.
Yeah. So if we were talking like plans, long-term plans, what does the 5-year, 10-year plan look like for you? Where would you love to be?
Wow, so I guess my next benchmark for me is reaching 20 properties.
Okay, I like it how they're going up in tens here.
That's it, 10, nice and simple. So yeah, I'll say property related, that's where I want to be, is 10 properties, but then obviously my life's going to change in the next 2 to 3 years because me and the missus are getting married, we're probably going to have a family really soon, so I'm very much in the business, and I think the next goal for me is trying to get out of it slightly, maybe work 4 days a week, 3 days a week.
Brilliant.
So put those systems in place, get my team, who are absolutely fantastic, by the way, big shout out to them, get them really trained up, and pass more responsibility on.
So that you can start to work away from it. Yeah,
that's it. So I'd say that those are the long-term goals.
That's a nice goal.
So are you going to stick to your student lets, or are you ever going to diversify area or strategy? What's the plan?
Plan is to stick with the student lets,
I
think,
and just do it really well.
Just do it really well, keep smashing it out because, it's what I know. Maybe, this is long way.
Caveat to that.
Maybe open up another office in another student area.
That's a nice idea. So we both listened to a podcast you were recently on.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
A little bit of homework. You did a little bit of homework to get involved, and you mentioned exactly about what you were going to do. So I think that's interesting that you're going to stick to the same place, but just build up your portfolio to the point where it's to that capacity of the demand. That's what we spoke about, right?
Yes,
so
that's right,
90 houses, you said.
That's what I would just focus on my portfolio.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
And then get rid of the other stuff. You look after yourself, like 100% ownership kind of thing, which is cool. Yeah. So do you think that's a sustainable thing to do? Because obviously you're going to get those 90, which is great, but there'd still be all those other landlords in that area in terms of sustainability.
Yeah.
Do you think that's going to have an impact?
I'd say yes. Unfortunately, that's just the nature of the beast, I guess, because there is a limited capacity.
Of course,
it's a numbers game.
So many
if I'm bringing these really nice HMOs to the market, they're knocking off the the poorer ones,
Yeah.
then and this is what I was saying on that podcast. It's not like I haven't warned them. I'm saying to them, look, you need to spend the money, you need to improve your property, you need to get with the times. And some landlords, they're fantastic, they listen, but other landlords are like, next year, Craig, next year, or no, it doesn't need that. And then they're scratching their head when I'm ringing them up saying, yeah, your property didn't let this year. What? Why?
So I know, like with the student market, it's it's very sustainable in the fact that you rent a year you get people signed up a year in advance, and you kind of know, like us on the professional stuff, we get voids, and someone's in a room for 6 months, but then they might leave. But on the student stuff, they're kind of locked in more. But that said, I still think my advice to anyone doing it is always aim for that top 5%, to be in that top 5%. Because even the student market, things will change, the market will change. When things hit that market, you want to be there because you're untouchable. Because what will happen when that happens is the guys you've just mentioned who are like, oh, no, they're just wiped out. And that's it.
Don't you think
Game over.
Like, I'm all with that.
Yeah.
I'm 100% on that same wavelength. But my issue with the HMO market in general and the longevity of that strategy is, let's say you're at the top 5%. You're only at the top 5% until the bottom ones go, they sell, and someone else comes in and pushes that ceiling. And then all of a sudden, you're not at the top 5. You're slowly moving down until you have to inevitably spend some money to get it back to the top 5.
Yeah, but you should know that you've got to do that anyway.
You should factor in, you should, every 5 years it should be complete. But then when you think about this as a cash flow strategy, and it is a great strategy, and I'm full HMO man here, I love them. But like, for my personal, the way I'm going to look to do this going forward, that is a bit of an issue for me, only because I've got these big houses, these big 10 beds. You can't just a redecorating and a reflooring and all that on a 10 bed. You're talking 20, 30 grand to get this kind of thing done. If you then factor that in every 5 years, well, hold on a minute, that's massive on your profits and losses and all that kind of stuff. So like, that was just me thinking in terms of longevity. I'm trying to move away from the HMO market to diversify into single lets. So I would like to ideally have a portfolio of single lets which matches the cash flow off the HMOs, kind of like an all-weather portfolio, and eventually bring in some commercial things like what we're in now, and have like a full diverse portfolio. That's my ideal scenario. But yeah, that's just me thinking out loud with that whole being at the top of the market. Inevitably, tenant wear, everything like that, wear and tear, it does come down. And like you said in that podcast, which I'll repeat, I'm a strong believer of this, it's super easy to rent a house when it's just been renovated.
100%.
Right? You see these people that are buying in these weird areas, and they're smashing it, getting top-end rents, and you're like, well, it's gorgeous. Things like that. Wait 3 years' time, when you've got scuffs, wardrobes falling over, all this kind of stuff. That's the hard task.
And that's why the management is so absolutely critical. 100%. And that's why I won't let that go, because I think that's most important. It's easy selling the glossy brand new house. That's the easy bit. It's the management of it. It's to make sure that the people managing the property are picking up on, like, there's a slight leak there, or there's a damp spot there, or like you said, the wardrobes, drawers come off or something, because eventually it'll just get worse and worse and worse, and it'll cost you more and more and more.
So you're really passionate about that, the customer service and the experience. So I know you had a situation recently where your business was cloned.
Yes.
And it was quite stressful for you. So do you want to tell our viewers about what happened?
Yes. So basically, I was on an inspection, a mid-year inspection. I got a call from an unknown number. I thought, okay, Craig speaking, and it was a girl. She was basically, the conversation went like this. It was like, hi, you won't know me, but I'm a student in Worcester, and our landlord has cloned your website. And I'm like, what? I was like, what are you talking about? She goes, yeah, our landlord has cloned your website, and I wanted to let you know. And I was like, okay, well, firstly, thank you, but secondly, how do you know this? And she goes, well, he's cloned your reviews, and he's even left your name and your company in his reviews. I've got screenshots which I can send you. So I was like, if you can send those to me, that'd be great. And she sent them to me, and lo and behold, it was true. And I thought, what is going on here? So I said, what's the website? Went on it, and yeah, he copied me word for word, absolutely from the introduction all the way through to the contact us page. Everything is cloned. To the point where, and this is the best bit, Jade, to the point where you report a maintenance issue, you click on the button, and it comes through to my website. It's like, oh my God, how stupid can you get?
Did you get any repairs come through?
I didn't, thankfully, thankfully not. But we couldn't believe it. We could not believe it. But yeah, that's basically how it came about. So I filmed this. I named and shamed him.
Yeah, you picked the wrong guy. You picked the wrong guy because you went on social media.
Oh, I had a rant, a full-on 20-minute rant.
I think, well, you found him. All this investigation.
He was found within 10 minutes.
Yeah,
it was. People were like coming comments going, this is him, this is his Facebook, this is his LinkedIn.
It was like the Don't Kill Cats documentary.
It literally was.
But it was for property websites.
So many people were just getting in touch.
It was like that. I was all over it. We were like, it was like drama in our house. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened to Craig. This is disgusting.
I know. And so no, it was brilliant. Thank you for everyone who supported me through that. So I made the video for it. So it will be continued. I will follow up. I will speak to this guy eventually.
So you've not tracked him down properly to talk to?
I've tracked him down, but I haven't spoken to him yet. Just because I've had a lot on my plate recently. But I want to make it so that it's filmed, it's documented.
Yeah. I think that's a good idea.
So no one ever does it again.
Yeah.
I think that's just rude. I mean, it's just rude.
And that's why I've raised it, because you clearly pour your heart and soul into everything that you do, and you're totally genuine and transparent. And some guy comes along and clones you, and I've seen, you've shared with me this person's profile, and he looks like a really nice average guy. And that's quite scary.
Not going to look like an ominous kind of villain, though, are they?
Well, but he does. He does.
Like this.
You know what I mean, though? It's like, oh wow, he's crazy.
But we've had it with pictures and stuff, right? You've had people nick your pictures.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've had people nick pictures for sparium. I mean, really, my pictures? And then I've also had people message me going, do you mind if I use your pictures? Well, first of all, no. Second of all, how the hell are you going to replicate that in your house? Like, do you know what I mean? It's false marketing. You can't do that because you're not going to deliver that product.
Oh, and this is the thing. This is what really got me, because it's one thing copying my website word for word. That's I feel honoured, whatever.
Yeah.
You ring me up and ask me at bare minimum, but to then copy my reviews, which were genuine, I can obviously trace those to the original source. He's copied them and then he's taken his name out. But that's misleading.
It's
that's
exactly.
That's wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, when you're at school copying, you'd at least change a couple of words
to
make it look like you haven't copied. Like this guy just literally word for word.
It's
mental.
blatant.
Thing is, though, the website looks totally legit. If you didn't know what was going on, it looked great.
If that lady had never reported it, you would frankly never have probably found out. So until you got some repairs.
Yeah, this is the thing. Apparently he's not a nice guy to deal with. According to her, obviously that's her side to it. But yeah.
Wow, we had one.
Gets my blood boiled.
Same. We had a guy in Derby who nicked our pictures. Okay, so I found out about this while I was on holiday. The guy, he nicked the pictures and put them on a listing within Derby whilst ours were already on in Derby. So then I had the letting agent ring me saying, why is this guy using your pictures? We're trying to get rid of this house anyway, and he's using it to be our competition, my own pictures. So yeah, I did a similar thing. I found out who it was, but yeah, it's pretty stupid to use it in the same area because it's so easy to find out.
People are.
I tend to find the name and shame option is probably best, because I rang up trading standards. I did everything I can legally to get it, and they basically just shrugged it off. Oh, you've been copied. There's not much we can do. I was like, fine, I'll just name and shame.
Yeah, I think that's a good tactic, to be fair.
So a lot of the people, our viewers, are quite new to the industry, starting out, looking to get as much information and content as possible. So if there's somebody out there that wants to do something similar to you and connects with what you're like, what sort of information would you give them to get going? Because we all want that at the start, don't we?
Yes. So basically do it gradually. So a lot of people, I go, right, I want to leave the job. I want to, basically just quit tomorrow. I think that's high risk. And so what I would do is do it gradually. And give up your weekends. Be prepared to give up your weekends, because ultimately it is hard work.
It's graft, isn't it?
You love putting the graft in, though, don't you?
It's not easy. I do.
Yeah.
Big up the grafters.
Big up the grafters.
But people often do that, and they put so much pressure on their business because they come out of a secure job, and they put all of the pressure then on the business for it to work, and that's when it ends up turning to crap, because it's just too much pressure on it. Whereas if you keep a job going, slowly build it up, get to a comfortable position where you then can migrate it across, it's such a better place to be in, isn't it?
That's right, because I was so confident when I left my job. Like my property income exceeded my corporate income.
So you were fine.
And I was so confident at work, because I thought, if anyone turns around and says you're sacked, but okay, that's what I've got.
Hilarious.
So not in an arrogant way, but just in a confident way. I felt more confident.
It takes the pressure off. I did exactly the same. So all of a sudden, your income from property is more than your actual salary. And then you sit there and you think, hold on a sec. I don't have to do this. I don't have to be here if I don't want to be here. So all of a sudden your whole mindset changes on the whole thing, and it's such a nice feeling as well. It's such a great spot to be in.
It is.
When it clicks and you're like, oh dear. So that's cool.
So obviously we know each other from Instagram, all three of us.
All Instagram pals.
It's the first time I've actually met you guys.
I know, half of the friends on Instagram I've not met yet. So
it's nice great. It's great when you meet people and become like a reality. Like, if you know them. So Is there anybody, if you had 3 accounts on Instagram to recommend to follow, apart from myself and Jonathan,
Obviously you'd say
Of course,
who
of course.
should we be looking
Well,
for?
that's 2 off the list. So, right, so I'll tell you Inside Property Investing.
Oh,
yeah,
definitely.
shout out to Mike and Victoria.
Again, they're on the to-do list. That sounds a bit wrong, doesn't it?
Oh, we've got podcasts. They're coming up with a podcast.
Are you going on their podcast?
That'd be great.
I'd love to.
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay. Mike,
so yeah,
Mum,
definitely,
make it happen.
Yeah, definitely those guys, because the content that they've got is top notch.
100%.
Very clear, very user friendly. It's fantastic. Next one I'd say would be May Green Investments.
Yeah.
I love their feel and vibe on their HMOs.
Shout out to Rob and Sarah as well.
Yeah.
Who else? Have you met them?
No.
They're genuinely 2 of the nicest people you could ever wish to meet.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Again, except for me and...
Except for you and Craig, yeah. I don't know about you, but yeah.
And then the third one would be Ruth Hobbs. I think
Yeah.
she's
Shout out to Ruth again.
She's like buying up everything and doing really well.
She owns half of Derby now, yeah.
She owns half of Derby,
yeah. So yeah, those are the 3 I'd say.
Cool.
Amazing. And is there anything that you want to share with people? Where can they find you?
Yeah, where can they get, what's your handle, where can they get in touch with you?
So
that kind
the
of
main
thing?
one is my Instagram account, which is Property Apprentice. So yeah, feel free to DM me, comment, and next. If
People will comment.
Oh, well, good. Next is, I guess, my business, which is Student House Gillingham. Feel free to email me if you want to drop in for a coffee. If you're ever in Kent, more than happy to
host.
something. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so, Craig, property's difficult at the best of times.
Yes.
Okay, really difficult, super hard to get into as well. So if there was something, you've got a lot of experience.
Yep.
So if there's something that you like shines out as your biggest learning or biggest difficulty that you've had, I know that's a similar question.
Yep.
Is there anything that kind of stands out for you?
For me, it's know your strategy and know it well. For me, it's always been students.
Okay.
I'll just tell you 7 reasons why. Number 1 is because of student loans. It's government funded, so therefore you've got a good bit of security there.
Yeah.
Next one is tenancy arrangement. So with students, effectively, they usually come as a group.
Yes, nice.
So that's a lot of security for the landlord, because then you can put them on a joint tenancy. So if one drops out, then the other ones pick up the slack, which is nice to know. The next bit is UK guarantors. So the good thing about students is that parents are quite forthcoming to be their guarantor. So that's again another security thing.
Yeah.
Exactly that. Another thing is degree as well. The reasons why we've got a massive student demand is because of the power of the degree. As long as the degree sets the tone for a good job, there'll always be a need for one. So that means there'll always be accommodation. Eviction rates. So for me, I've looked into this, and the reason why I love student lets is because the eviction rates are so low. I don't know the exact stats, but I'd love to get my hands on that. Of all the people that get evicted, how many of those are students? Because I can tell you now it's minute.
Wow.
The next one is no council tax.
Yeah, that's huge. Massive now, yeah.
Look at his eyes lit up at that one.
Yeah. So that ultimately means it's going to be more profitable, especially with all the council tax legislations coming in, especially if they're charging you per room, which can really take the sting out of the deal.
Which that's happened to me, so yeah, that's on a different video anyway. Do you include your bills with everything on yours?
Yes, all bills included. It's all inclusive.
Okay. Because sometimes they do student ones because they're a group. They let them do the bills, right? Sometimes, so you do all of them.
Oh, you know, we keep it. Yeah.
Okay.
All
I like that because a lot of people think when you say students that they're just going to be more difficult. I don't know why that is, or they're not going to look after the house. And I thought that because I was a student. I know what we did in the house, and so I just straight away think. But now I also think, well, it doesn't really matter because they've got a guarantor. So even if they don't look after this house,
what's the worst case?
Yeah, well then you've got you've got a guarantor that you can go back to. And these guys, they're going to do a degree because they want a good future. You know, I'd be surprised if they didn't care about having CCJs, things like that. You know, so yeah, is that what you're seeing, that the students do look after it just as much as
I wouldn't have a business if they didn't.
Yeah,
you know?
You're right. Yeah.
So there's a big stigma attached with student lets. And the first questions I usually get asked by landlords who are coming over to that market, they're like, do they wreck it? And I'm like, no, like, as long as you do it up to a good spec, they're going to treat it well, and as long as you've got the right systems and paperwork and all of that in place, that protects you.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's the big message that I want to put across, is that that they don't trash the place. Obviously you get some that do, but then you get that across every single
people.
Yeah.
Even if they do, they clean up afterwards, so it looks like they never did, which is what we did.
So can I just quickly ask you then? So you've given us the 7 really positive things.
I think that was 6.
Was it 6? Are you still missing one?
The last one is timing. So with student lets, it goes all in parallel with the university timetable. So it's easy to time like when they're going to be coming in, when to market, stuff like that. Whereas professionals, it's
everywhere.
Random people.
Can I add something to that as well?
Yep.
So I once went to, we did a 10-bed development. We had a surveyor come round to value it, and it was obviously it's commercial development, so they valued it on a yield basis. Okay, so they factor in. Sorry, Jade. They factor in a cost for bills and a cost for voids, a percentage of voids. He actually told me, that surveyor, that if it's a student house, the voids are lower, so they value it higher.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what if it's on a yield basis. Yeah. So that's just another positive.
So the negatives? There doesn't have to be 7, but if there was some, be honest with us, what are the negatives?
So the negatives are, I guess, that you have to hold their hand. It's a very high maintenance job, not just within the actual physical maintenance of the property, but also with the educating of the tenants. Like a lot of them, they call up, because it's all bills included, they seem to think that it's like a hotel service, some of them. So I'd say that would be a downfall. So it's like, no, as tenants, you do have responsibilities. Like you have to change light bulbs and stuff like that, although we sometimes do that, depending if they're good or not.
But that's the same with professionals. You'd be surprised, like we have exactly the same issues with professionals, so I don't think that's I think that you're going to get that either way. So.
But what else is there? Like neighbour disputes as well, like playing music. They're more inclined to play music, have parties, the social aspect to it. But it's all, you just take it in stride.
It's part and parcel, isn't it? Yeah, it's part of that.
Yeah. So, like I said, I always say to the neighbours, look, report anything. I always say to the tenants as well, show your face next door, introduce yourself with a bottle of wine, flowers, whatever. It just makes a million
relationships.
Yes, exactly.
That's a great tip, I think.
It is. Yeah.
It's a really small thing, but I think that could make a real big difference.
Because if they've met you, then they'll approach you. But as soon as they go, students are next door, they just think students are going to trash the house, they're going to make my life hell. But when they meet you and you're bringing them gifts, they're like, oh, God, actually, they're really nice.
You've set the tone for the relationship, and it'll be okay.
Just a little thing, and it changes everything.
Cool.
Thanks for coming, Craig.
Thanks,
really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Cheers.
Thank you for watching, guys. If you like what we're doing, please like and subscribe to the channel. If you want us to talk about anything specifically, then pop that in the comments below and we'll get back to you.
We'd love it if you'd come over to Instagram and give us a follow and say, hi, I'm B-Space, and you are?
Jonathan M. Ioannou. Thanks.